Welcome to Wager Talk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Thursday, locked in the Final Four. We got MLB. Got a lot of sharp movement on some things. And yesterday someone asked, Andy, what about some UFC dogs? So I was going to wait to talk to Gianni about some UFC dogs here today. We got our MLB dog of the day. We got a lot going on here, Dan. Listen, it's a big day for me. Darts starts here in a couple hours. So we're locked in.
Dude, absolutely. We got MLB, we got darts up, we got NBA. We'll talk about all of that. But as you said, Final Four lines are kind of starting to move into shape here. Joe Raineri going to end the show with us here, folks, and he's going to give you best bets in both of those games. Michigan, Arizona, Illinois taking on UConn. What's Joe betting? But before that, Gianni's going to let you know, how did these lines settle in? What's going over? What's going under? Where's the sharp action, and what has he seen in his accounts? He'll let you know right here at the top of the show. Like Andy said, you want some barking dogs? We got them coming your way. One in MLB, even 3 games going on. Don't worry. Andy and I are scouring the card to find you a little plus money, and Joe's going to talk Braves and Diamondbacks as well. And he'll take you all around the world. If you were tuned in yesterday, cashed our over with the Phillies. So nice and easy rocking chair winner. We love those, Andy. So the live plays, you never know what you're going to get here on Wager Talk Today. You just know you will be entertained. So let's get into it, Andy.
Yeah, let's bring in Gianni, find out what's going on today, Thursday. Happy Thursday, Gianni. How are you?
Oh, man. All right. Coming off a nice winning day. The climb back continues, and got a good couple days coming up. Today's a little slow because of the smaller board in MLB, the travel day. We've got a big board in NBA, big board in NHL. I'm not really sharing NHL, but I do have some NBA for you. And also college basketball with the NIT and Crown tournaments going off tonight. So we do have action as we await the weekend with the Final Four, UFC here at the Apex. And it's that time of the year, brother, where March Madness may be coming to a close, but we still got plenty of markets to fire on.
Well, let's go to college basketball. I'm actually going to be at a couple of the games tonight with Trig. So what are we seeing here in some of these markets here?
All right. And like I always do, I tell the viewers, because this is a gambling show, just like on Bet On It, tell you when I win, tell you when I lose. And here's where we stand in college basketball. Top 5 in profit. Been like that since week 1. Had a real good college basketball season. So still up over 41 units for the season. 2025, 2026 college basketball. March Madness started off hot, got cold this last weekend. We're now 2 games under 500, 25 and 27 in March Madness. So again, trying to get to that Mendoza line before they cut down the nets on Monday, but won't be a profitable March Madness, but it was a real good college basketball season. Now, this is what we got so far today, and it's no surprise this late in the season. I've been talking about that. Lines are tight. Sharp bettors trust their data at this point. You have a bigger sample size as you're going to have, and that's why you see a lot of two-way opinions, and this is what we have. Let's go. New Mexico and Tulsa start there in the NIT. We have New Mexico, Tulsa plus 4.5. That's what came in first. They took Tulsa plus 4.5. The piggybackers took the 4 on Tulsa. They have the better record, but power rating wise, most have New Mexico further ahead, like I do. And that's why we saw New Mexico money come in today at -3. So you have a difference of opinion there at different numbers. You have a one group that took the 4.5 on Tulsa, and I have another group of mine that laid the 3 with New Mexico. So I'm looking at the accounts, and I have both bets in there. The Illinois State and Auburn, sharp money on Auburn at -6.5. There's 7s and 7.5s across the board. So that's not available. And the under from 150.5 down to, I think, 149. And then in the Crown tournament, Stanford, West Virginia, another difference of opinion where one of my groups took Stanford at Pick'em. Another one has West Virginia plus 1.5. So it isn't the same group betting it. It's not manipulation like they're doing in NBA, which we'll cover soon. And finally, the last game on the board, Creighton -4 got bet this morning. And then the over and under, difference of opinion, over 149, under 151. The over money came in early, which sometimes is a sign of getting out ahead of the market. I tend to trust the late money more on totals because that's after, again, for all sports, I trust it more. With football, you have weather and injuries factored into the later line. With baseball, NBA, you have roster and lineups, who's actually playing. So I tend to trust the late moves and totals more than the early moves. And that's what we're looking at in college basketball tonight as we await the Final Four on Saturday.
Are we seeing anything with the Final Four lines? I got to believe these things are about as efficient as it gets. Yeah, they're 1.5. Both games like 1.5.
Yeah, and we did. We actually did. And that's why I'm like, let me look at the Steam sheet from yesterday, because that's where I put in the Final Four stuff already. Here's what they bet. They bet UConn plus 2.5 and under 140.5. And they took Michigan at a pick 'em. Now, again, you got to remember, limits are lower early. They know the public hasn't spoken yet. In fact, the public won't speak until Saturday. When the public speaks, that money will far outweigh any sharp money out there by a huge, huge margin, almost Super Bowl type margin, where it really doesn't matter come Saturday what the sharps are on. It's kind of just a guideline for the sports books so they could set themselves up to be on the sides of the sharps when the game tips off. That's all the early, steam helps them do. But rest assured, there'll be some sharp money coming in late because the public will affect this market significantly on Saturday. They'll probably do so in a big way on the totals. And I won't be surprised if they do so on the side because like you said, even though it's sitting on the coin flip, with a 1-point favorite either way, it is kind of one-sided, at least early on. We're seeing bettors kind of leaning towards the side of Michigan and towards the side of, they took the Connecticut side. But again, I think you'll start seeing balance as we get to Saturday. You'll start seeing a lot more two-way action, at least on the side. And I think when the game tips off, Andy, I don't think books are going to have much risk except on the futures. Like if a particular book has futures on Illinois, if they're a Chicago book, they may have a ton of Illinois futures, or an East Coast book may have Connecticut futures, let's say. But I don't think they're going to have a lot of risk on these games because it's kind of like a Super Bowl where you get a ton of action. And when that's the case, it's usually closer to balance than one way. Everyone has an opinion. And this late in the season, when you're talking about the top teams, again, it's not hard to envision people on both sides of this, especially when the line's a pick 'em. So I think the books are in a great spot where as long as it doesn't land on one or two, like as long as one of these games the winner doesn't win by 1 or 2, they should do just fine. As long as that doesn't land on the number, they'll do good. So don't worry about what the public's on. If you have your own numbers, trust them, or your own handicapping process, trust that. And don't be too concerned about what the public's on or what they're doing, because they will be split when it tips off.
Let's move to NBA here. We got Suns, right. Hornets, Timberwolves, Pistons, Lakers, Thunder, Cavs, Warriors, Pelicans, Trailblazers, Spurs, Clippers. I'm going to guess the Sharps are on the No, I can't say Lakers. They're too much of a public team. I'm guessing the Sharps are not big fans of Lakers. It just seems like such a big number at plus 9.5. What do you got for us?
Here's what I got for you in NBA, and this is what you have to remember. Most bettors are betting so late that it's really hard for them to get to get plus EV bets down in NBA late. Like if you're not getting down early, it's a very, very tough sport to beat. At least talking to bookmakers, that's what they're saying. Like they're making a lot of money in NBA from recreational bettors, more than college basketball, a lot more than college basketball, because they're betting later and the lines have moved so significantly. And here's what I'm talking about. All of the stuff I'm going to share got bet last night. In fact, I don't have a Steam sheet out yet, because I don't have anything fresh in the accounts. And I'm not just going to make shit up. Like I try to put like real actionable information, not stuff where the line's so stale you can't even use it. With that said, that's what's happening in NBA. And then later in the afternoon, after about 4 o'clock Eastern, that's when there'll be information bet moves. And if you're locked into odds logic, you should be able to beat some of those numbers and find some plus EV bets. Otherwise, it's difficult. And here's why. Because this is what they got down on last night. 533 over 220 and 221.5, Phoenix, Charlotte. They took Minnesota plus 5.5, and then they came back and took Detroit minus 2.5. The same accounts. So the same exact group that took 5.5 with Minnesota, then came back and laid 2.5 later with Detroit. Then that same game, they went over 222, over 223, and over 224. And if you look right now in the Minnesota game, it's up to like 225s. Like the opener of 222 is so long gone that the number's so stale now. Like, how do you now bet it over, knowing you're getting 3 points, the worst of it after it opened? It's either under or leave it alone. But knowing that, the sharp money's on the over, it's hard to do. And that's the difficulty. Another perfect example, 539, Lakers, Oklahoma City. This is last night in the accounts. Over 227, all the way to over 231. And that's why now you're looking at 232s out there. 541, New Orleans, plus 7.5. And the over 228, 229, 230, and 231. And that's why you're looking at 232 and a half, 233s out there. And finally, 544, LA Clippers plus the 4. On the sides, you have a little better chance. On the totals, like I say, even in the Steam sheet, I don't use many of them. I kind of just, if it's a prime time or marquee game, to let my guys know if there's a sharp side. But the info is not actionable. Like, you can't use it. It's already moved 3-4 points. Knowing that the sharps are on it, sure, that's decent information. But still, it's too late to do anything with it. Now, with that said, if you like Auburn tonight, okay, in college basketball against Illinois State, you're going to want to get down on Auburn immediately, because as we speak right now on my screen, on my IM, I got Auburn bet for me to take Auburn at -7, even laying -120. So they want that 7, and 7's one of those. I know it's important in NFL, but for some reason it matters a little bit in NBA, in college basketball as well, because I've seen that a lot on the 7. I've seen it on the 5. I've seen it on the 3. I've seen it on the 4. Sorry, I have to add stuff in too.
No, the 7 is, I've always heard that the 7 is like, well, that's like when they stop fouling at the end with the free throws. Like,
is that why?
Yeah, that's
okay.
That could be completely made up. I read it on the internet. It's got to be true.
It's got to be true.
So,
yeah, that's not true.
I read it on Twitter. So
yeah,
but it does make sense. Like around the same thing.
So if you, I like Auburn, I do, and that just helps confirm for me. They took 6.5, and now they're betting the 7s, so it's going to be 8.5. This game may even go off at 9. And I thought maybe I was missing something like injury or something like that, because I had a double-digit line, and that's happened to me throughout the tournament. And so I'll say probably more times than not, it was something like that. Like my power rating didn't factor in an injury or, a player playing all the entire game before. So, maybe tired, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what we're looking at there. So yeah, incredible how it comes in later. I wish I would have laid the 6.5, but 7 ain't too bad, especially if it closes a lot higher than that.
All right, let's go to this atrocity of a UFC card and see if we can pick some dogs here. It's a little rough. I was like, oh, Chris Duncan's fighting Moicano. I was like, wait, that's the main? event. Yikes. I'll just go through the list here. Dogs that I like. I don't really like Moicano there. Tabitha Ricci at plus money I could get behind. Don't like Ribeiro. I do like Estevam. He can wrestle, but I don't know if the judges really reward that, but he's a good wrestler. I so want to bet on Zucchini because McMillan, we watched McMillan on Contender Series, you and I did, and I'm not that impressed, but I'm not sure Zucchini's the guy. Don't like Richalo. Don't like Stuart Nickel. I kind of like Darius Flowers just because Lando Venata hasn't fought in like 3 years. Like, what's he been doing? Haley Cohen I could get behind. No pun intended. Yeah, you taught me to Trayshawn Gore. If his, I like Melissa Gatto. That's my favorite dog right there, Melissa Gatto over Barbosa. And this new fight, Dakota Hope, I guess I could take a plus money. Any dogs you liking?
Wait, you do like Gatto?
I like Gatto. Yeah.
Good. You just confirmed her for me then. I swear to you. Because she was one of mine. The ones that I wasn't sure on, that I had on the side, and I was going to ask you your opinion, even if we were off camera, like we get to talk before we jump on. I thought Peterson offered a little value at this line against Pat. Even I get it. Pat it's the potential, but the strength of schedule worries me. I know in Brazil, some of these guys that are killers, nobody wants to fight them, so they can't get fights. And I've learned that through Contender Series, so we can't punish them too much. But I just think the line just doesn't make sense to me, but I can't get there yet. Gatto, I did like as well. The only thing that stuck out to me with the Gatto, what was the negative was, the other one that was, I like the Gatto. Gatto, I am going to end up betting, but there was one, the Cohen against Alice Bejeda. That was a dog I was looking at Cohen, but it worries me a little that she's at a 4-inch reach disadvantage and like a 15-year or something like that, 13-year age disadvantage. That's why I haven't bet that yet. I'm glad you just gave me the Gatto. I will be firing on that, but here's what I'm going to give you guys right now. This is a premium I released. It's a 4%, and I came close to making it a 5% play. In fact, I want to make it a 5% play, but I lost the last 2 5% plays in college basketball, and I've only fired 5 of them all year in college basketball, 2025, 2026 season, which I'm very selective. But still, like if I'm not running hot on those, there's no reason to go 5. You could go 4. With that said, it's the main event, and here's my argument. I can lose this bet, Andy, and be comfortable, meaning I know I'm confident that I'm getting the best of it, that the odds makers and bookmakers are forced to give me a ton of value on Renato Moicano. And here's why. Because Moicano's coming off back-to-back losses, and he's fighting Chris Duncan, who's coming in red hot. Duncan's won 7 of his last 8 fights. Well, I mean, he's with the Contender Series. He lost the first Contender Series, won the second one, and since then he's won, 6 of 7 UFC fights, okay? 4 straight, 2 bonuses in those 4 straight, 3 of them by finishes, all right? Impressive. So he's got the momentum coming in. But let's slow down a little bit. The first win was against Balazs Oki, okay? He closed a minus 140 favorite against Balazs Oki, who hasn't won a fight since. Then he beat Vucanic again as a plus 250 underdog against Vucanic, who Vucanic also hasn't won a UFC fight yet. And then his third win came against Rebecki, who's lost 3 of his last 4. And he closed plus 190 against Rebecki as well. And his 4th win, the big one that puts him in this spot is against, who did he end up beating? McKinney. And he closed the dog against McKinney as well. And now you're telling me he's a 2-1 favorite against Renato Moicano because Moicano lost to Makhachev, who's top pound for pound, and Dariush in a decision, who he got out wrestled. Dariush, 5 takedowns, controlled him for a whole round, and that's what happened. Duncan's not going to do that. That's not his style of fighting. So for me, I just don't see the huge disadvantages for Moicano, And the betting line makes absolutely no sense when I look at the 4 fights for Duncan coming into this one. Again, I'm a guy that just looks for inefficient prices. Maybe the X's and O's give Duncan such a huge edge, and I don't see it. But price-wise, bro, I love Moicano. At anything better than plus 150, I think it's a steal. You're telling me he can't win this fight 4 out of 10 times? I just don't get it. I like Moicano. He's probably going to lose. Minus 200s tend to win, 2 out of 3 times, or at least 6 out of 10 times. Even when the line's off, they still win 6 out of 10 times. But yeah, I like Duncan. Moicano in the main event as a dog. And I do agree with you in the co-main event, Ricci as well as Jandiroba. That's the dream killer. She got to the mountaintop, got the title shot, 38 years old, and just couldn't get there. This is let down all over it.
I agree completely. And Jandiroba's style does not exactly fit what the judges like. So,
and Ricci shouldn't have too many problems with it.
No. Any MLB today, we only got a couple games. One of them even got rained out.
Only over in Minnesota, Kansas City, and I kind of liked it. I have a bet on it, but that was at 8, so I couldn't even give it out to subscribers because I think it's 8.5 everywhere. But Minnesota KC was the only legit steam I've seen. Everything else has just been kind of scalps of money lines.
Yeah, check the weather before you make bets. I believe Kansas City had some pretty crazy weather yesterday. Looks like it should be okay, but just double check the weather. I know they had fog. They had fog in the game. It's something.
It's crazy out here in Vegas too. It's so windy. It's like it was like 90 degrees all last week, and now it's like down to like 70s and windy.
Tell everyone what you have up on Thursday.
All right. I have a package tonight in college basketball, 3 plays in it in this tournament, 2 4% and a 3%. I have the UFC package already up with a couple of 4% bets. More will be added. The Final Four pass is up also, and I have a 5% there. You could see the data on my 5% over the last year. Been very profitable. And that's going to be it. Unless I'm able to confirm like a strong NBA bet tonight, I'm just going to have that package up. And I don't have the Steam sheet because everything was overnights and everybody could look at the line screen. Even you could use the WagerTalk odds screen and conclude for yourself what got hit overnight. I like to give the actionable stuff more. That gets hit in the morning before I jump on with you guys.
All right, Gianni, thank you very much. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully coming off another winning day. Gianni the Greek, everybody. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Gianni.
Okay, Financially Free was asking about the MVP candidates tonight and their points, rebounds, and assists. Victor Wembanyama, 41+ PRA. Luka Doncic, 50+ PRA, and SGA, 42+ PRA. I parlayed all those together to get about 6-1. So
everybody's just balling out. Everybody's balling out.
I mean, so Wembanyama went ballistic last night.
As he's one to do.
Well, I mean, he had a pretty good matchup against he was playing the Golden State Warriors, who were sitting everybody. It wasn't even the Golden State Warriors. It was like the Golden State Woes.
Yeah, who is it that the Globetrotters play? That's basically who he was
Generals.
Yeah, the Generals. Yeah,
the Generals. Like, I was looking at it. Do people actually comprehend how tall Victor Wembanyama is?
It's crazy.
He was standing next to Draymond Green, and the height distance from Draymond Green to him was like me to Draymond Green.
He looks like a stretched out Gumby. Is his like, player comp profile for a good Gumby reference.
He had a block last night that looked like a big brother on
he doesn't have to jump.
Nerf hoop.
He literally it's just the wingspan is insane.
It was like he just did that to a professional athlete. Like he just did that to another professional athlete. Just made him look absolutely ridiculous and silly. So
Andy, before we bring Joe in, you mentioned at the top of the show, pretty loaded card here tonight over at WT.Buzz /AL, and we still have some great deals going. So we're going to talk Final Four with Joe. Joe's got a winner for you in baseball as well coming up, Atlanta and Arizona. But before that, what do you got rocking today, Andy?
Well, we got 4% darts play that goes off here about an hour and a half, couple hours, and I partnered that with a 4% MLB play that we have,
Nice.
and there's also an NBA play in there. So we got a lot going on. We've got a 4% cricket play that goes off tomorrow. We got a 5% cricket play that goes off on Saturday. We've got UFC bets coming up. Probably have our boxing best bet of the week. Golf just started, so we're as busy as ever. You got a big lacrosse slate coming in, so we got a lot going on. You can buy a package, but it's 3 days for actually 6 days for the price of 3. We're still running this 3-day special. We've extended it even more because so many people are jumping on board. So if you haven't done that and you want to get in on a couple 4% plays, we're seeing the board pretty well right now, coming off a winning day yesterday. So I think we added 4 or 5 units to the portfolio yesterday. So real happy with that. You can go to wt.buzz/AL, buy 3 days, get 3 free. These are bets I've already locked in with my own money. So really excited about today, Friday, and Saturday. So don't miss out. We got a lot of good stuff coming up in sports that you guys probably are not used to betting, and that's the best part. We'll introduce you to some new markets. So somebody asked what happened with the tennis play the other day. It just lost. I mean, there was nothing like it was.
Andy, what happened? What did you do?
It was an infuriating loss because our team played good, and they just missed some crucial points, and all the stats were kind of in their favor.
Yeah, any 50-50 play, we lost in that one, and every other play, the guys were dominating. So that's how it goes, Andy. But what happened, Andy? Why didn't you pick the winning side, Andy? What the hell, man?
Well, I thought I did. So I will say I watched a bunch of those scores of these tennis tournaments. There's some wonky stuff going on in some of these tennis tournaments. So I'm done with tennis for the week. I don't want to get burned.
Yeah, we're gonna dial back.
I've seen quite a few people getting burned on tennis this week. So, all right, let's bring on Joe Raineri, who's not getting burned. That was a pretty bad segue. I think a D-.
He's not getting burned, but he does have to do a show with Prez nearly every day. When Prez actually shows up, Joe. Mm-hmm. So you know when you're at win picks, have to see Prez. Yes. Yeah.
But in Andy's defense, it is 88 here today, so I might have to mix in a little SBF there, Andy. Okay. So I can save you out there. All right. So there you go. I do got to fight the burn, and it's funny. Just before I came on here, it seems like somebody ran over my bail box, and then I looked down. It was Tiger in a golf cart. I was like, no big deal. You're good to go. I'm like, yeah, never mind. Yeah, you're fine.
That's 4 flips.
You're good to go.
We now got 4 flips for Tiger.
Yeah, he is great.
But real quick before we get into games, I put Joe in the middle here because look at the difference between Andy and I's pale ass and then Joe in Southern Florida bragging about it being 88. So I hope at some point in the year, Joe, I got the same glow that you have rocking here, dude. I mean,
golf ain't gonna play itself, Dan. I don't know what to tell you. These clubs ain't gonna swing.
Don't get in that cart with Tiger. Don't get in the cart with Tiger.
You're damn right. Exactly. Unbelievable. Ridiculous.
I'm going to get fitted clubs this year, Joe.
There you go.
I'm going in. So,
okay.
Which
one you going? The BXPs? Which one you going?
I'm going to let them decide. I'm going to let them fit me and tell me and whatever. I got a golf trip in Turkey in the fall, so I'm getting ready. Oh yeah. Wow. I'm very excited. My Irish friends go on an international golf trip every year, and I'm joining them this year. So they picked Turkey. So hopefully things have calmed down over there.
BXG is one of the best custom makers, Andy. It's perfect. They'll do everything for you. Yeah, BXG. They'll do everything for you. And they're becoming more and more popular on tour, too. So a lot of guys are starting to carry the bag and the clubs. And they got a couple of guys under contract. But you'll love the whole process of it. You'll never have to buy another set of golf clubs ever again.
Let's go. I'm asking people, and I have yet to hear a positive, or not a positive, but a yes to this question. Do you know anybody that has flipped a vehicle once? Because this guy's flipped 3 of them, and I've yet to find anybody in my life who knows anybody that has flipped 1.
So, funny story. I'm actually in Jupiter, Andy. That's where the studio is, and I'm laughing because I have actually been to Jupiter Island, and I have been where Tiger lives and Celine Dion, and the list goes on and on there. When I heard the story, I'm laughing. I'm going, it has got to be the flattest piece of land. It is an island. You've got to take one bridge to go over and get, like, literally you can circle it in about, it takes you 20 minutes because every road is about 10 to 15 mile per hour. That, like, you are not allowed to speed through there. There's security everywhere. When I heard he flipped it, I'm like, what did he flip it on? Like, how in the world on a flat, like, you can't even speed around those. It was the most unbelievable thing. Then sure enough, there's the Range Rover. Leave it to him. Honestly, I don't know how he didn't see the trailer. You can see for miles on this island. It makes no sense that he came around that and just got shocked that there was a guy with a pressure washer on a trailer in front of him. Couldn't believe it. He was shocked with it. Unreal.
I have a friend that says Jeff Gordon hasn't flipped his car in NASCAR in his entire career more times than this guy's done it in residential areas.
I don't know. And then he landed on his. The whole thing is just. And the guy he hit, that poor guy had to actually help him out of the car. But the best is, I was changing the radio station. Like, dude, who listens to radio anymore in the car?
Yeah.
Like, what were you changing in the?
I couldn't tune into my AM station.
Yeah, exactly. Like, stop it. Ridiculous.
And I was sweating so hard because I was really just stressed about finding my radio station.
Yeah. Popping Vicodin like they're chiclets. But hey, enjoy the rehab. Let me know how that works out. Unreal.
You imagine the guy that got hit calling into the office like, hey, we're going to be late to the job. Like, why is that? Well, Tiger Woods just smashed into us. Like, I'm sorry. You're going to have to repeat that. It sounded like you said Tiger Woods smashed into you. So
now I remember when he drove his Mercedes on top of a median in Jupiter on US 1 there out by his restaurant, where he didn't have any tires on it and was passed out at the wheel. And then he woke up and was like, I don't know what happened. It was a little too much Ambien. I'm sensing a theme here, Tiger. I'm sensing a theme here.
If I ever had like the FU money that these guys have, I would never drive again. Exactly. My first thing would be give me a personal driver, especially if I'm someone who likes to partake in some of these,
privacy. He said he can't do it. Privacy.
Yes. Oh, okay. Put up a privacy screen, dude.
Yeah.
I got to push back on that. There's a lot of people that just like to drive. I like to drive.
I like to drive too, but if I'm freaking taking oxys and Ambien together, I probably am going to have a driver.
I like to do things I'm good at, and if I've already flipped 2 cars, chances are I'm not driving anymore. Just saying. It's not. Just saying that this may not be for me. I can hit the golf ball. I may want to stay out from behind the wheel. Just saying. Unreal.
Let's go over some bets here, Joe. We got the Final Four. We got Michigan, Arizona, and then we got Braves, Diamondbacks. So break down this big game, Michigan, Arizona. A lot of people, some are saying this is the true national championship game. First off, do you believe that? And then break down this game.
No, because I don't see a lot separating these 4 teams. They're all built very similar as far as height goes. I mean, this has got to be 4 of the largest teams I think we have seen in a very, very long time here. I mean, we've got 6'10", 6'11". We got 7-footers all over the place here. Some of the nuance is a little bit different from what these teams do a little bit better than everyone else. Illinois is not going to turn you over. They're not going to get easy buckets in transition. They're the most efficient offense in the country. They can shoot you out of the gym. They don't allow you to get a whole lot of second chance opportunities, but you know what? Neither does UConn, neither does Michigan, neither does Arizona. The Michigan-Arizona game should be absolutely national championship worthy, and I say that, and it's likely going to be a 30-point blowout, but that should be absolutely worthy of a national championship. To me, the only difference between those 2 teams is what it is in college basketball, period. It's 3-point variance. Michigan has 4 guys, 36% or better, or 155 threes, I believe, from 4 of their big guys on Michigan. They can hit threes left and right. The problem is Arizona doesn't take a ton of threes. Arizona relies on their defense and dominating you in the paint and at the rim. I don't know you're doing that against the size that Michigan has there. I don't know that Arizona is going to dominate the rim. We know 3 is more than 2. So to me, this is a true coin flip, because if the threes are falling for Michigan, Arizona's done. If they're not, well, then this could be decided, believe it or not, Andy, at the foul line. Any which way you cut it, I'm looking at the under in this spot here. I think the under in the Michigan-Arizona game has more, because both of these teams are going to bring it defensively here. And if they don't have a crazy three-point shooting night, Michigan, this game's going to be close, and it's going to come down to what? Guess what? Who can make the free throws at the end when it matters the most here? But that's the big difference between those two teams. Arizona, they're not necessarily built to come from behind, because if you can't dominate at the rim or in the paint against Michigan, somebody's going to have to make some threes on Arizona.
All right. I think I'd have to agree with you on that one. Let's move to the diamond here, and I'm looking at the starting lineups here, and we got the Braves, we got Diamondbacks. One guy's got a 7.7 ERA after one start. One guy's got a 1.5 ERA. Obviously, super small sample size. We got Nelson versus Lopez here. What do you make of the Braves and Diamondbacks here?
Well, this is first of all, I don't really. Ronaldo Lopez is hilarious that this is what the Braves have to resort to, because they can't keep anybody else healthy here. It's a guy that's lost almost 2 miles per hour on his fastball. And I faded him in game 1 the first time he pitched, but unfortunately, he ended up holding up his end of the bargain there against the Royals, who all of a sudden last night decided that they're going to be the best 2-out hitting team in the history of Major League Baseball. But I don't think he's going to enjoy that same kind of success here. Keep in mind, the Braves have played nothing but home games. They're also coming off a game that they played last night, and now have to travel for the first time out to Arizona, while Arizona gets to stay home and welcome in these Braves. And I like Nelson. I think Nelson, much better pitcher. I think it's a big advantage on the mound. I don't trust teams like the Braves early enough in the season who have to hit the road for the first time after a late game. And I don't like Lopez. So to me, I think at this price, I think Arizona in the first 5. At this price, Andy, I think they bring a lot more value to the table here than what the Braves are going to have to do.
All right. I'd have to agree with you. Pretty good bounce back spot for somebody that didn't pitch well in the first game. So markets seem like markets seem a little bit over adjusted on that one. So what do you have up for everybody on this Thursday?
Lot NBA. I mean, it was funny you were mentioning Wemby last night. We went 2-0 again last night, and one of my last play was the San Antonio Spurs in the first half against Golden State, only laying 7.5, which I thought was hilarious when it was 70-48 at the break. Which is exactly what San Antonio does. They boat race teams early, so Wemby doesn't have to play but 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. It's a fantastic, and I mean absolutely fantastic system they got rolling there. But I do have a play up tonight I like a lot in the NBA, 4% best bet, now up nearly 52 units on the season here in the association. That is available. Passing on Major League Baseball, only a handful of games, but we'll be back at it tomorrow. And I do have, which I'm going to put up here momentarily, one of the other tournaments, NIT Crown Tournament. We've got a couple of plays coming your way in college hoops tonight, all available over at WagerTalk.com.
Aren't the Spurs so smart with how they're handling Wemby?
Amazing.
It's a master class in how you handle someone like that. It's getting their players better, and they're just going to unleash him in the playoffs. Like he's going to play 25 minutes of regular season, all of a sudden 35 in the playoffs. And
listen, you ask me, and I'll ask both you guys quick on the way out. If you're starting, you're Vegas or Seattle, you're getting a new NBA team. And you can do what the NHL used to do. Like, all right, you get to pick one guy from each team, right, to start your franchise. You pick an SGA over Wemby to start your franchise?
Ooh.
I'm not picking SGA over Wemby. Absolutely not. Wembyama is who I'm picking. That is who I am building my franchise around in this NBA. No way is it SGA.
Andy, you can answer first because I think that's a great question.
It's a great question. I think all things considered, I think it's Wemby because you have to add the defense in there. His offense is getting better, but also he's box office. People pay to come see him. Like this is the face of the league. And by the way, Joe, think about it. The face of the NBA is now a Frenchman.
Yep. Yeah, right.
say that.
Went from the first non-American winning the MVP to now it's a Frenchman. Yes. Yeah, exactly. But listen,
he's got more of a personality than Duncan did. I mean,
yes.
I love Tim Duncan, but he was you needed somebody else to be the face. Duncan didn't want anything to do with it, but he is every bit, if not more talented than Duncan. And it feels like he wants to be that guy. Because I got news for you. Without LeBron James being the face of the NBA, you better figure it out because there's not a whole lot to be excited about with your, 12 tanking teams. So you better figure it out in your NBA. Somebody's got to replace LeBron, and why not Wemby?
Yeah, and like you guys both said, like SGA, incredible player. Don't get me wrong, but the difference in just optics, you know what I mean? Like Andy kind of said, not quite saying it's like, Barnum and Bailey, they're selling to see the freak show, but just the spectacle of seeing a guy like Wemby puts asses in the seats. And I mean, what he does on the court is his game has exponentially gotten better. You know what I mean? Like there's a guy like Embiid who came into the league and he's just kind of coasted by on his size. And then he finally, got here's your MVP award, everything like that. Like it's been a short window, but Wemby has exponentially, you see different parts of his games getting better nearly every time he's on the court. So I think
what's he going to be at 27?
Exactly.
The dude is what, 21, 22 years old?
That's what I mean.
I'm not paying money to go watch a dude flop around and score half his points at the free throw line, and that's if he can get to the free throw. I wouldn't go pay to see Harden. I'm not paying to see SGA either. And by the way, take SGA off for OKC. They're probably still winning just as many games here.
Damn good roster.
Wemby off for San Antonio. Yeah, we're having a different conversation about how bad it is in San Antonio.
Wemby's such a character. Do you know he's like best friends with Michael Douglas?
There's a lot of strangeness going. Yes.
Yeah. Did you know that, Dan?
No, that's news to me. Michael Douglas,
Yeah, Michael Douglas was over in France, wanted to meet Wemby before a game, came down, they hit it off, and now they're like best friends. Yep. You have to see pictures of them. He looks like Dan, he looks this big standing next to Wemby.
Yep. As do most human beings.
Yeah. And I think he put on weight this year.
Yeah.
Get big. So, all right,
somebody
Joe.
asked him too, like, how's your conditioning? I'm like, how's his condition? He's 22 years old. How's his conditioning? I'm going to take a stab and say his conditioning, pretty good. I'm thinking a back-to-back is not a big deal for a 22-year-old. Like, stop it. How's his conditioning? Unreal.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it, Joe. Good luck tonight, man.
Good luck.
Appreciate you. Thanks, man. Yeah,
right,
that's a great question, though. That's a great.
Yeah.
I would be surprised. Drop in the comments below. Let us know. That'll be the question of the day for you. Wemby versus SGA. Who are you starting with? Because somebody does kind of make up the point. Hey, I like Wemby a lot, but when you're that big, just injuries happen. You know what I mean? So let us know. Let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit that like button and subscribe, folks, if you haven't already. But that like button, let's get those likes up, folks.
Yeah, and his legs and limbs are just so long. There's just more room to step on an ankle.
There's more room for error.
Yeah.
There certainly is.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to do all around the world, and then we're going to go over some baseball betting stats, go over some streaks of some teams on their run lines, money lines, and game totals. But let's go all around the world here real quick. Royals and Twins starts here in a few hours. I like Cole Reagan's under 16 and a half outs. He's dealt with injuries. He only pitched 12 innings in his debut, and he kind of got shelled a little bit. He gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. Taking the under on this number was 11-2 last year. Take that for what it is. I know this is a completely different year, but I'm taking the under on Cole Reagan's. Pistons and T-Wolves. Great stat here, Dan. Jalen Duren over 2.5 assists. He's gone over in 5 straight. He's getting 6.8 potential assists. Here's the thing. He's played Minnesota 5 times in his career, and he's gone over in every single game against Minnesota. So we got 100% hit rate. And Dan, happy Charlie McAvoy Day. He plays again tonight. He plays the Panthers. This cashed again earlier this week, over half a point. This is now on a 30-5 run. 35 games. He's had a point in 30 of them. Of course, this is a client play. So it's just Charlie McAvoy Day. So we're gonna play that one. So
all right, we love you.
Yeah, he's just been doing the Lord's work in the gambling world. So all right, let's go to our good friends at EV Analytics, and we'll take a look at let's take a look at the run line streaks. And Dan, go over again. What's your definition of what is a streak in Major League Baseball?
Well, like I said, and it varies, man. You know what I mean? Because it's just when it's this early in the year, it's hard for me to ascribe. But we talked about, is 5 a streak, is 6 a streak? It's like that Key and Peele skit where like how many humps is what's going to get you the flag. I guess we'll call it 5. We'll call it 6. So do we have anybody streaking? Did we hit the 6 mark? Teams have finally played 6 games, Andy. So now we can start qualifying things as streaks.
We have one category where a team has hit 6 streaks in a row. Let's go over the run line. With the Diamondbacks at 5-1, the Rockies still chugging along at 5-1, Astros 5-2, Brewers, Yankees, and the Nationals 5-1 on the run line.
Nice.
So those are your teams.
Okay.
Those are your teams that have been covering the run line. Teams that have not, the Red Sox, the White Sox, your Phillies, and the Giants, they only have 1. So those are some teams that are on some streaks you can figure out if you want to fade the streak or you want to follow the streak. I think we do have one that we might need to fade the streak because I think it's a little bit unsustainable. And this is the one category on a team that is the Atlanta Braves. They're 6-0 to the under. They play tonight. Wow. Joe broke that game down. So 6 feels unsustainable, Dan. It feels like
and
if you
think about Andy, you know, okay, do theory, whatever, but they're also playing, and again, one outing does not, you know, extrapolate what's going to happen, but playing Ryan Nelson, I think his, what he gave up, it was crazy. It was like 7 runs, something like that. I don't have it sitting here in front of me. I can pull it up here for you, but they're playing Ryan Nelson, 7.71 ERA, 107.
Yeah, he got beat up in
4Ks.
He
got shelled in 4 innings. So you have a team who's been cashing towards the under. I would like it, Andy, if we were seeing that 8.5, because I think the overs already started to get cracked. You're seeing 9s. 8.5 over would be the play for me, fading that 6-0 streak actually. And Joe kind of alluded to it, man. If you're looking for a dog on the board today, the dog for me, he liked it in the first 5. Makes a lot of sense to me. Ryan Nelson on a bounce back potential spot. But, you know, I like him on the full game too, especially with Atlanta going on the road for the first time this season, heading to Arizona. So, a potential dog of the day for me, Andy, looking at the Arizona D-backs at home, taking on the Braves. And it kind of ties into, does that under streak continue? Probably can't.
Yeah, we got the Athletics, Rockies, Royals, Mets, and Yankees. And the Giants only have 1 over. And we don't have any undefeated teams on the over, but we do have the White Sox of all teams, 5-1 on the over. The Rays, 5-1 on the over as well. So, my favorite.
Real quick on the Mets, they're also playing 9:45 tonight. You know, they're a team who's been constantly going under, and totals are reflecting that. This is one that opened at 7, a real low total here in MLB action. It is Peterson and Ray, so 2 lefties dealing. So I don't know if I'm quite jumping on that over there, but money did come for that over. So we saw 7, move it up to 7.5. Under still slightly juiced at places. So people, again, are trying to fade that. Hey, when is this Mets offense going to explode? When are they going to give up a lot of runs? Could it be in San Francisco tonight? Giants leave a little bit to be desired with that lineup, at least what we've seen thus far. So two maybe leans towards fading those, Andy, for me, but the number just kind of keeps me off of it. But bettors are betting over in the Mets game, even though they've been going under. All
right, we got a player that's hit in every game so far this year. I'll look that one up and see if it's at 6 or 7. So we're really going to pound away on some of these streaks once we get to the 10-game mark. I think that's a pretty decent sample size. But
yeah, and guys, we have these tools, like Andy has these tools. If you have any questions, hey, what's this team doing? What's that team doing? Drop it in the comments below, because come baseball season, we can be your one-stop shop here, folks. We're going to get you some dogs. We're going to get you some breakdowns. But what are some trends? Maybe you don't have access to some of these premium tools that we do. We're more than happy to share it. All we ask you to do, hit that like button and subscribe. So drop your questions. We always are in the comments. We're in the live comments as well. So if you want to hear something, drop it below in the comments, and we'll be more than happy to do the work for you to research. That's what this show is all about, man.
Absolutely. So, all right, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Got a locked and loaded slate today. We got that 4% pack that's up with darts. It's got MLB. It's got an NBA play in there as well. And happy Charlie McAvoy Day, everybody.
Happy Charlie McAvoy to all of those who participate.
You know what? If Charlie McAvoy hits, that'll be leg 1 of our Let It Ride. How about
Love
that?
It.
All right.
Deal.
So there's your free play on Charlie McAvoy. If he hits, we'll regroup tomorrow, see if we can get our second leg going. So join us tomorrow. We'll go over that. Same time, same place. We'll get you ready for the weekend. Good luck on your bets. We'll see you